We're now joined by two-time Bundesliga champion, Bundesliga Rookie of the Year, and Golden Boy nominee, Bayern Munich left back, Alphonso Davies. Alphonso, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you guys for having me.
It's really a pleasure. I have to tell you that I'm a huge fan, and I play left back. We all are. We all are huge fans of yours. How you enjoying Germany? Just get us started, and Munich is a beautiful city. How you fitting in? How you feel like it? Just give us the thought about that.
Yeah, I mean, the first time I was in Munich, it was me just getting to know, obviously, the city, getting to know the language, and getting to know the players as well. But now I think almost 2 years here, I think I got more and more comfortable in the city. The language is coming along, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys, German is very tough language to learn. But I'm trying. So, but yeah, overall, the city is a beautiful city. There's a lot.
How many lessons a week do you have?
I have 2 to 3 times a week. I have lessons.
How's the food?
The food's really good.
Yeah,
the food is really good. Yeah. The food's good. I think schnitzel. That's one of the Bavarian dishes that I know.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite. Schnitzel. And I have to say, everything is all the food is yellow or brown.
Oh,
There's no greens. You got to find greens in Munich. That's all.
Hopefully, we don't let this great interview go down the food route again with Charlie Alphonso, because this guy lives for his food. By the way, is it a female or a male teacher that you have? Just curious.
I have a male teacher.
Oh well. Never mind. I always found that female teachers a better connection, but that's just my own personal level.
So what always intrigues me is how young players come out of North America, those that do, with magical skills. Where and how do you learn them and perfect them while you're in North America? And how can every young player follow? Where did you learn your skills?
I think I learned my skills, obviously, throughout my parents. And my dad played the sport. My brother played as well. But yeah, I think I was blessed enough to have people around me to, push me every day. Every time I step on the field, to give my all. I know it's tough in North America because obviously with the snow, and you can't really train outside. So you have to go in indoors, we have to do what we have to do. But yeah, I had people around me, pushing me, believing me, and I just wanted to get better each and every day.
Are you a skater? Did you pick up that your speed is Thomas Muller called you the Road Runner, which you were recently clocked at. I don't know what it was, but you were the fastest player in Bundesliga history or some point. Down the wing one day, I heard them interview you after a game. You seemed a little surprised. Without the fans cheering you on, you still managed to run down the side like you were in a Ferrari.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't know when. I think I have an idea, but I'm not really sure when that happened. On my side, I was just trying to do my job defensively, and I guess I broke a record. I'm happy for that too. I'm really happy with that. I think when I got sent off, I was a little bit disappointed, and then when I found out, I was, my spirits got lifted a little bit, and when we won the game, and became champions, I think all that feeling of me getting sent off just went away.
It was like an Audi, Charlie, because it was a German car.
Well, actually, they bought
Italian. Man.
Audi bought Lamborghini, so he was a Lamborghini. How's that? Okay, you feel better
Alphonso,
about this now?
Can I take you back to your roots? Your parents Liberian. I had a real good teammate back in the day when I was playing in the North American Soccer League with a lad called Ben Collins, who was a lovely little gifted footballer. Did your mum and dad play at all at any sort of level? And what guidance did they give you in the early days?
My dad did play, but he played when we moved to Canada. He played in like a community, men's league. he just told me like, each and every day we watch. My dad's a Chelsea fan, so
No. Yes.
yeah, because of Drogba, Marco Essien, and all those players.
Well, George Weah, I'm very close with, and he is. I mean, he's president of the country, for God's sakes. I mean, he's an amazing, amazing person. I'm an AC Milan fan because of George Weah. Okay, not a Chelsea fan. Okay.
So he did play for us for 4 months.
Yeah, I did 4 months. Okay, go ahead, Alphonso. Sorry, we didn't interrupt you.
Yeah, him playing the sport and me watching him, I just wanted to grow up and, become these players, become, the Didier Drogba, the Marco Essien, looking up to these guys. And I get every day he told me to just, always keep fighting for what you want.
It's always so important for me on a parent's guidance. My father, Alphonso, was a man who stood off and didn't really deluge me with information on you should have done this, you should have done that. He just let me express myself. I get the feeling that your dad was similar.
Yeah, he was similar. When he came to the game, he just stood there with his arms crossed, just watching the game, didn't really say too much, just reacted.
Sure.
But to become a Bayern Munich first team player, you have to learn so much. So who were the people who taught you? What were the clubs? What were the leagues in which you really learnt your trade?
I think I started with Vancouver when I was 14. I went to the rankings and then made my first team debut at 15. When I was at Vancouver, I had multiple guys, helping me out. Pamaduka, Russell Tybert, even the coach, Carl Robinson, everyone was helping me out, wanted me to, strive in the league. And then having to move to, Munich, which was a blessing. And then, guys like David Alaba, guys like Serge, Thiago, all these players, they saw something in me, they wanted to push me each and every time in training. And at first, when I came, I was really struggling, coming from North America to Europe and playing on one of the best clubs in the world. It's not easy, but I tried.
When you were at the Whitecaps, Alphonso, can I call you Fonzie?
Yeah.
I don't know if you know.
Is that what they call you? Is that your nickname, Alphonso?
Yeah, Fonzie.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Fonzie it is then.
Hey, remember that Happy Days? He doesn't remember.
He doesn't know Happy Days.
But when you were at the Whitecaps, Fonzie, was there any? Did you get the rumours that the big clubs were looking at you seriously? And what effect did that have on such a young, precocious player that really is still finding his feet? How aware of the Goldfish Bowl that you were in were you?
When I started playing, I knew there was big clubs, wanting me. I heard the rumors, but I think that motivated me more to, even, try harder. With clubs like. With Bayern looking at you, it motivates every player to, just perform. And when I found out that I knew that they're after me, it's just, it put a big smile on my face. And each and every day I stepped on the field, I just wanted to, keep improving myself.
Let me ask you, Fonzie, now that we've established your nickname that you're good with. Alaba, I absolutely love Alaba. And you transitioned from sort of a left wing to a left back. Did Alaba one of the guys to take you under his wing? Did he help you along that? And just tell us about your relationship with him. I mean, I love the guy. And now he's become one of the best center backs in the world.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, English is actually his first language, isn't it?
David.
Yeah, because his parents were Nigerian, weren't they?
Yeah, they were Nigerian. And they are Nigerian, I should say. When I first came to Munich, like I said, David was one of the guys that took me under his wing. And, when all the injuries occurred and then I was playing left back, I knew what position I was, going into. Obviously David's one of the best left backs in the world. Even if he plays the position now, he'll still be one of the best. I knew who played there, and me coming there, I wanted to perform. And then having him as my center back partner, it was just, you know, just everything put together. He helped me out a lot on the field. You know, obviously he played. I don't know if he played center back before, but he's really good at it. So having him by my side it was just really good to have.
So what's your left back history?
Was my left back history? I think it first started at Vancouver when I think Marcel de Jong got injured in one game, and they put me left back, and then they put another winger there. So when I started playing left back, you know, obviously I didn't know how to play the position quite well. I'm more attacking minded, and then as time went on, they kept playing me there, and I got used to the position. Played there with Canada a couple of times. You know, when I moved to Munich, I played wing a couple games, and then, like I said, all the injuries happened, and the coach put me as a left back, and then that's how it started.
Your versatility on that left side is so exceptional. It must be hard for the coach to pick out because of that versatility, and especially the wing backs being so crucial in modern day football. Fonzie, that's your position. That's your preferred position now.
I think left back's my preferred position now. I think I would not change anything right now about my position.
The playing for Bayern Munich, it is unquestionably one of the biggest and best clubs in the world. You know, you came from MLS, obviously, which is trying to establish itself and has been an incredible gift to all of us here in the States. But what's it like playing for the Bundesliga champion and now one of the favorites of the Champions League this year?
The favorite.
It's honestly a dream come true. Each and every day, you know, I see these guys, you know, shaking their hands, you know, being my teammates. It's incredible. Still can't believe it to this day, you know. Winning the title, not me, but them winning the title 8 consecutive time in a row is just, you know, something amazing. You know, it shows that, you know, hard work pays off. You know, each and every day we step on the field, you know, we want to give our all. And me being part of it for the last 2 years it's just amazing.
And I told you about your teammates as well, Fonzie. A player that I fell in love with as soon as I saw him playing, and he was a precocious young footballer, just like you, younger. When I first saw him for Paris Saint-Germain was Kingsley Coman. And he had to endure the high expectations himself of the world looking at an emerging, true, special player. Similar how the world is looking at you. How does that feel? And what's your relationship with Kingsley? Because I love that kid.
My relationship with Kingsley is it's a good one. You know, every day I see him, we shake each other's hand. We make jokes here and there. Yeah, we have a good relationship. I think on the field as well, we have a good relationship. You know, sometimes he plays on the left side. You know, him and Serge, sometimes they switch. But I think overall, Kingsley is a really good player. You know, really young, really good young player. You've seen his journey, all the different leagues he's played in. You know, it's just incredible. At his age, it's just, you know, he's doing something right.
The other two rightly said how much they like you and admire you at the beginning. As everyone knows, I've got a problem with you after the Bayern Munich victory at Chelsea.
Yeah, but he is clear. His father was a Chelsea supporter, so you're okay.
Yeah, so he's sort of retrieved himself now. One of the things that I've always done, particularly when I was working with Chelsea, was I used to, with the players, I used to make a team at the end of every year of the best individual performances against Chelsea for that season. And if I were doing it for this season, Bayern Munich would take most of those places just for that one performance. As Rocky brought up some of your teammates, I just want to bring up a couple of others. But before I do, I just want to say that your performance on the night was the best performance on the pitch. And I am in love. Despite being a Chelsea man, I'm in love with Andy Robertson at Liverpool. but I actually think that you are this season the best left back in the world, and I mean that.
Thank you.
But I just want to ask you: you're a kid who's gone from a refugee camp to Canada, over to this elite football nation, and playing with players that you knew of who were talked of as the greatest players in the world. People like Muller, people like Lewandowski. You must have been like a kid in a sweet shop, going and playing with Muller and Lewandowski. And then you've mentioned him a couple of times, Serge Gnabry, who has gone the other path. He was rejected by the idiots in England, Arsenal and West Bromwich Albion, and had to go back over to Germany, where he found his game again. And he's now, I can't stand him. He scored 2 goals. He's just, what a player he's become. Just talk to me about the charisma of Muller and Lewandowski around the training camp every day, the training ground, and about the other side of things, Gnabry, who's built his career out of ashes.
Yeah, I mean, we know, Thomas Muller is king of assists, This guy, wherever he wants the ball, he'll give it to you. He's a very calm player when he plays, very calm in his head, very smart player as well. He doesn't have the physical attribute, but I mean, when he plays the game, he's just so smart. He makes the game so easy. Robin Lewandowski, we know him, one of the best number 9s in the world. This guy, he can't stop scoring goals. Each and every day in training, he takes 10, 15 minutes after training to, work on some finishing, work on some shooting, And me as a kid looking at that is just, motivation to me as well. And speaking of Serge, I've heard Serge's story, and went over to England. They didn't really, wanted to work with them. And then he came back here with Hoffenheim. He did well. And now he's with Bayern Munich and he's killing it. I mean, it just goes to show you that, always keep your head down, always keep fighting, always keep working at your dream or your goals, despite what anyone says.
Fonzie, I want to switch gears if I can and talk about about the Black Lives Matter movement. And we've been so touched here. The three of us are huge supporters and have just been touched by Germany, really stepping up and want to get your general thoughts on the movement and how you feel about it to be really a representative of North America.
Yeah, I mean, the movement is really good. I really enjoy everyone that's, participating in the movement. All the protests, the peaceful protests that's going on, around the world is incredible to see. Watching all this, this hate on social media, with all these cops, killing black males, it just, it pains me, Which is, for example, the George Floyd incident, watching this guy get, his neck get kneed on for 8 minutes straight, it wasn't nice to see. I think I didn't really want to watch the whole video. When I was watching, I stopped it because, it's just something that I don't want to see. It's just, it's heartbreaking. But I just want to thank everyone for the movement, it's really great to see.
And have you personally, endured, or your father for that matter, have you endured this, directly, this type of horrible racism? And if so, what lessons have you learned from it?
Yeah, to be honest, I think I've only had one incident of racial profiling in my life. It doesn't happen to me a lot. I don't think it happens to my parents a whole lot. But should I explain the story? If that's good.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay, so there was a Walmart beside where I used to live, with a McDonald's inside it, and all these kids, obviously African American kids, go there, and they obviously make noise, just kids just having fun, and it got to a point where the lady didn't let anyone as a kid, being black, eat at the restaurant. So when I went there to order my food, I'm ordering my food. She comes out and says, "No, you can't order." So I'm looking around like, what's going on? She's like, "You're one of those guys that come here and disrespect the place." I'm like, that's not me. Like, at the time I was playing with Vancouver, so I came back to visit my family. I went there, obviously day off. And I think that was the first time I ever, felt like racism in my life. Like, I couldn't believe it. It really hurt me.
And you were playing for Vancouver at the time. You're not like a 12-year-old kid causing trouble, or like fun trouble. You know what I mean?
The season was over, so I came back to visit my family, and then this happened. I was just so confused.
What did your father say to you and your mother say to you at the time? And I mean, Ray talked about this, parents being quite often the real role models that get left behind sometimes because we tend to follow celebrities and stuff. But I'm curious, your parents brought up, you guys in a refugee camp. I mean, what were their feelings?
Yeah, I mean, my parents are, very down-to-earth people. They just want me to, stay the same. The way they raised me is, respect everyone. Be respectful to yourself, respectful for everyone. Listen when people talk, have fun with everyone in your life. You shouldn't put down someone just because they look like some kind of way, they look like this. And education is a big thing for them as well. Obviously growing up in a refugee camp, they didn't really get the opportunity to go to school. They didn't get the opportunity to, finish the high school, the college, get a degree. So for them, schooling was, everything. They wanted me to get an education just in case this, football thing doesn't, obviously football doesn't last forever. So they want me to get an education, for afterwards.
And Fonzie, keeping on this thread, because when I came over to the States and I made my little bit of pot of money from the game as well, the first people I looked after was my mum and dad. Bought them a little cottage in the nice little village, moved them up. And have you given your mum and dad your present yet?
Yeah, it's currently in the works right now.
Good lad.
Yeah, it's currently in the works right now. Just a little thank you for for them believing in me.
It'll put years on their life, believe me. It will. It'll make them live forever and ever with you in the heart, giving them that extension of your success, and of course, to live every minute through you right now.
Ray, I just want to jump in and say, look, that's the best thing your parents can give you is what they gave you. My parents came from Italy, and the one thing they were concerned about was an education. And they, like you did, like your parents didn't have all the opportunities that other folks had. And I don't want to pretend they're in a refugee camp. They came here as poor immigrants, but they didn't face the terrible problems that your parents faced. But in the same vein, that's what they can give you, is give you that spirit, give you that fighting spirit, give you the education. And you should be very, very proud of them, because they've done an amazing job with you, young man. They really have.
Thank you.
And one issue you'll have now is that you're a young man. In football terms, you're a kid. But in national team terms, Canada terms, you are the superstar. What do you feel are your responsibilities with Canada's national team, and what's their potential?
I think my responsibility every time I get called to camp is, just to perform. We want to win every game we play, especially in the CONCACAF level. We're trying to make it to the 2022 World Cup, and we know it's not going to be easy. We know we have a lot of difficult teams to go through. But I think the team, as looking at the team from when I first joined to now, I think the team got better dramatically with the likes like Jonathan David. So a lot of clubs looking after him, looking for at him right now, wanting to sign him. He's a big part of the team. Liam Miller as well. All these players, all these young players, I think we're building for the future. And my responsibility in coming to the camp is just perform. Just play my hardest for the country.
Well, I remember a good player coming out of Canada when I was coach at the Miami Fusion, DC United, that I always wanted to sign was Dwayne Di Rosario. Remember him, Charlie?
Sure.
Dwayne was one of the best players in Canada, and produced some nice footballers. Can I ask you, Fonzie, what's your spectrum of your day like, living this dream? Apart from that, what your actual time indulgence of what I read this morning, that you're a TikTok star. What the hell's TikTok? I'm serious, man.
Sorry, Fonzie. Okay, go ahead, Fonzie. Go for it.
Just to get this straight, Rookie isn't even the oldest of us three.
Yes, he's not. He's not. And I'm the youngest.
It's an app where you like make funny videos. You know, you just create content. It's like YouTube, but like it's like a minute long. So you just post it and people like your stuff, I guess.
People like Ray with his. By the way, if you go to Barcelona, when you play in Barcelona, when this pandemic ends, you're going to go play in Barcelona, go to the museum, and Ray's the guy they feature in the museum, which is just hysterical, you know. Anyway, what kind of videos do you post on TikTok?
I post, things that I think is funny. I post, conversation that I had with my friends that are really funny. I post like dancing. I just post like, creative content. I don't really have a specific one.
Humorous, I'm assuming? Most of it's humorous? Yes. Okay.
It is.
Boy, we're really old. You must be saying, you're shaking your head, these guys are really old. They don't even know what TikTok is, these knuckleheads. But sorry, we're doing the best we can. You know what I mean?
I've still got a dial phone, so that'll show you.
Yeah, I want to ask you this because I've been to Munich many, many times, and I'm blessed to have a nice friendship with Karl-Heinz Rummenigge and Uli Hoeneß and the crew over there, and so many wonderful people there. It to me is the best example of a football club that hasn't lost its sense of community. And tell us a little bit about, because you have like the weekly open training. I don't think people understand that, like, Neil with his snotty Chelsea friends, in the Premier League, and it's a little different in Munich, and you're in this beautiful little suburb of the city, really, the heart of the city. But, tell these guys what it's like. You have it's family day, right? People just come out and hang out with you guys.
Yeah. I think, like you said, weekly, open training. Yeah, people come, they come watch, the players, they come watch us train. They really enjoy it. Every time it's packed, they love coming to watch us, and we love doing it as well. Right now, obviously, we can't do it because with all everything's going on.
Pandemic.
Definitely, when it's over, we can't wait to see the fans back again.
Do you have
have you learnt to cook while you're living on your own? Sorry to bring it back to food, Rocky.
Yeah.
Have you learnt to cook?
Have to.
Have I learned to cook? A little bit. No, not a whole lot, to be honest. Not a whole lot.
I do a YouTube video now with the chairman's channel, which I actually teach you how to cook. I'll send you some.
Okay.
Just as long as you don't go to the Munich McDonald's, I don't think the club would be too impressed with that.
This new wave of young talent, it's emerging from North America. Christian Pulisic, McKennie, Tyler Adams, of course, as well. Do you have any personal contact with them guys, Fonzie?
Yeah, I have personal contact with Weston McKennie and Tyler Adams, playing the same league. Yeah, I mean, seeing these guys, over here, it was good. We knew, I know that, Weston McKennie has been here longer than me and Tyler Adams, so he knows the language a little bit more than us. But yeah, seeing these guys, here, and then, us going back to North America, playing against each other, it's a good rivalry. We enjoy, talking to each other.
That transition for these players from the North American League, Major League Soccer, in those circumstances, this is a tough question, but what would your recommendation to a young emerging talent coming through MLS that's really starting to feel at home with this team, that's getting the breaks, that's getting the chances? it's hard, I would imagine, to spread your wings and fly at that early age, the way you did.
Mhm.
It's a calculated gamble in its own way. But what advice would you pass on to some of the young emerging stars in MLS that are just starting to break through?
I would say just keep going. Just keep fighting. There's someone's watching you. You keep performing. You keep putting in the work. There's a lot of players that made it out, and you can be one too, obviously. But all I want to say is just keep fighting.
Yeah, the distractions must be, huge as well. The ego comes into it. It has to be said, where success can go to a player's head. We've seen it before, and it becomes sadly wasted that they don't fulfill that potential. And again, man, it comes back to your parents and what was said earlier. The grounding, and you've obviously had a wonderful grounding with your folks.
Let me ask you one last question for me, Fonzie, and thank you so much for your time. What responsibility do athletes have in your mind to speak out on social issues like the Black Lives Matter?
Yeah, it's very important. We have a lot of followers. We have a lot of people watching us, a lot of kids, and us putting this message out there. Is to open people's eyes. Use our platform to spread the word.
All right.
Can I just ask one final question, Charlie?
Neil?
One football one. You've got the DFB Pokal final coming up, the cup final against Bayer Leverkusen. You've still got the Champions League, which, if by some sensational chance you don't lose 4-0 in the second leg to Chelsea, you'll be through to the quarterfinals.
I think that really the odds are against them, Neil. They're against them. It's a tough one.
And the big ones: Manchester City, Atletico Madrid, Atalanta, and somebody else are already. Paris Saint-Germain are already in the quarterfinals. Not Manchester City; they haven't done it yet. Real Madrid are still in there. Barcelona, Juventus, big clubs. Who impresses you in the Champions League? Who excites you? What's the whole atmosphere like for you being in the Champions League at this stage? And what can you achieve in the remainder of this season?
Being the champion, I think the first Champions League game that I played, I think, my heart was racing so fast. Like I couldn't believe it. I thought
Who was that against?
First game, I think it was against I think Red Star. I think in
Belgrade.
Yeah, walking out and hearing the Champions League anthem, I was singing along as well to the song. That's how it's a different feeling. I think the first time I heard it, I was in the stands and I was like watching them play, and I was hearing the anthem and I was singing it in the stands and then on the field as well. It's a dream come true. Amazing.
What would it mean to lift the trophy for you if you could do that?
I think if we lift the trophy, I honestly have no words. Right now, I have no words.
You promise to come on our show if you lift the trophy, to give us your words on that if that happens, okay?
Definitely.
All right, good.